Welcome to the classic Storytime for kids. I'm thrilled to share today's story, The Tale of Two Bad Mice. Let's dive in. Once upon a time, in a little dollhouse, lived two mischievous mice named Tom Thumb and his friend, Tiny. They were not like any ordinary mice, they were rather naughty. One sunny day, they peeked inside the dollhouse and saw everything was so beautiful. There were lovely furniture, tasty food, and pretty dolls. Oh, how Tom Thumb and Tiny wished they could have a feast. But they were bad mice, you see. Instead of asking nicely, they decided to take what they wanted. They climbed in through the window and started exploring. They squeaked with delight when they found a delicious-looking pie sitting on the table. But just as they were about to dig in, they noticed something was wrong. The pie was made of clay. What a sneaky trick. Tom Thumb scratched his little head and said, "Let's teach these dolls a lesson." So they began to make a mess. They knocked over chairs and tossed the dolls around. Tiny giggled and said, "This is fun, but I want real food. Let's find something to eat." Off they went, looking for something tasty in the dollhouse. In the kitchen, they found a lovely toy ham. It looked so real. But when they tried to nibble it, they discovered it was just made of wood. The two bad mice were getting quite angry now. They were ready for a proper snack and were tired of being tricked. Then, Tiny had a bright idea. "Let's look in the cupboard," he squeaked excitedly. So they scampered over and opened the tiny door. Inside the cupboard, they found a beautiful collection of toy dishes, but there was no food to be seen. Just then, they heard a noise. It was the doll, sitting quietly, watching the mice with wide eyes. She wasn't happy at all. She shouted, "You naughty mice, get out of my house." Tom Thumb and Tiny squeaked and ran as fast as their little legs could carry them. They dashed back to their little home. Once they were safely back in their own house, Tiny looked at Tom Thumb and said, "Well, that was quite an adventure." Tom Thumb nodded, a bit ashamed. "Maybe next time we should just ask for a snack instead of causing trouble." And from that day on, they thought twice before being naughty, but they always kept their eyes open for more adventures. And that's the tale of the two bad mice. Remember, being nice and asking politely can lead to wonderful surprises. Thank you for joining me for this delightful story.